I was going to do a test against the Deus and the Simplex, but if you have a Deus, don't get these silicone sleeves, man. There's enough to get that damn thing on there. I had to put a little spit on there to get it on there, but yeah. If I had my knife right now, I would cut it off, but yeah. We'll just rip it off there. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do a test against the Simplex and the Deus. First, I'll go like that. Okay. I want to be able to push my buttons, right? It's hard to push the buttons to begin with on the Deus, but that was a struggle. Okay, I'm going to match the Simplex up with the Deus. I'll go to 12 kilohertz. Right here. Much easier to push the buttons now. 12 kilohertz. Iron volume 1. I'm in deep mode. Reactivity 2.5. Audio response 4. Discrimination 5. It's basically stock program, right? Except for the frequency. Pretty much similar to the stock program. And I'll have to ground balance it too. With the Deus, I have to ground balance it. I've already ground balanced it, 82. It's actually reading at 79, but it's running more stable at 82. So, 5-inch deep nickel right here. Banging it, big time. Here is clad quarter, 6 inches deep. And there's a lot of iron around here, right? You can hear the iron, right? Spanking it out big time. Here's some foil right here. Actually, I'll go to 3-tone. Actually, I am in 3-tone because Deus has 3-tone or in 2-tone. But watch this, it doesn't really matter. 3-tone. Here's a nickel. I'm getting a lower tone on that now because it's 3-tone. But it doesn't change the foil. See, at the foil, I'm getting high tone. And here's that quarter. Same tone as the foil and the quarter. And that nickel. I'll show you that the Simplex takes all the guesswork out of metal detecting, man. Dialing in your metal detector. You know, I've spent an hour and 40 minutes dialing in the O or X and the Deus, trying to hit these targets really good, changing the frequencies, the modes, the coils, you know, changing all the settings and stuff, seeing which frequency is going to hit it in these soil conditions. You know, it hasn't rained for about a week. But I'll go over all this iron here. Getting a lot of high tones on foil, right? And some iron there, a little bit of iron. Yeah, a lot of high tones there, right? 3 tones gives you high tones on the foil because foil reads up really high on the Deus, right? Sounds exactly like that quarter back there, 6 inches deep. Not exactly like it, but actually very similar, right? 3 tones. You know, foil shouldn't give you a high tone like that in 3-tone. Here's a quarter, or here's a dime, 3 inches deep. Hitting it hardcore. Hit it really good. But I'll discriminate it a little bit higher here because I know that it reads up really high on the iron if I'm discriminated in deep mode. I'll put in 7.4 kilo, 7.4 discrimination. Now I'll go over the iron here and it won't be nearly as bad. Yeah, it's just give me a bunch of grunts, right? I'm still getting some high tones. It's just being discriminated out, the iron, just right on the verge of being discriminated out, right? And I'll go up to 10 actually, I'll go up to 10. But you have to know a lot of stuff about the Deus to be, I don't prefer 2, 3 tones, 2, 3, 4, 5 tones with the Deus because I have to adjust my tone breaks and I have to know what discrimination I'm at when I'm adjusting those tone breaks, and it just doesn't perform very well in my soil here. I prefer pitch or full tones. It's hitting that good, but the soil is starting to dry out a little bit. It's a little bit better conditions today. For the last couple days, it's been really good conditions. Right there, hitting it. Right, here's that foil. It sounds like an overload signal, but it could be a coin right on the surface too, right? That foil sounds like foil. It sounds like foil, right? I just know that tone that foil gives me, or Can's law. But I'll show you the settings that I prefer on the Deus. And sure, take this with a grain of salt. The Deus, you can really adjust a lot of stuff here. I'll go all the way down to -6.4. Gain at 95, frequency 12, I'll boost that up, right? Because I usually don't hunt in 12 kilohertz frequency because my pinpointer is the same as 12 kilohertz and I don't have a mute button, right? If I had a mute button, I would be able to hunt in 12 kilohertz, but it just doesn't perform very well in most of my soils, the lower frequencies, especially with the X35 coil on. And iron volume at 1, it doesn't matter what the iron volume is at because I'm going to change something else here. Reactivity 2.5, I'm just going to leave all that stuff the same, right? But I'm going to go over to full tones. Full tones. So I'm discriminated all the way down. I'm going to hear all the stuff in the soil, right? And full tones, if I get a tone like that in the ground there, it's a higher conductive target. It's not going to be iron, right? I love the Deus. I love the Simplex too, but I'll show you. It squeaks at me. See, I'm getting a high tone. Anytime I get a high tone like that, if I'm rotating on it like 30 or 40 degrees, sometimes 90 degrees, if I get that same tone anywhere in that radius, it's gonna be something I want to dig out of the ground, right? That's just a dig me up target all day long. Here's that foil right here. Low tone, right? Totally low tone. It's foil on the surface. Here's all the iron right here, right? Here's that foil on the surface. I can totally pinpoint that. I know it's foil because it can be a low tone, right? I'll roll this dime here at 3 inches deep. Like I said before, if I get a tone like that, I'm gonna rotate on it. And if I'm getting a high squeak like that, that's something I'm gonna dig out, right? Because it's not a nail. See, I'm still getting a high tone there. And I can put it in pitch tones here too, tear it up. I'm discriminated too low to do the pitch tones right now. I'd have to make a bunch of adjustments, lots of adjustments. And you have multi-frequencies, you have different coils that do different things. You have the audio response, you have the discrimination, and you gotta remember when you change that stuff, you have to change a lot of your other settings. If you're in like deep mode and you wanna change your tones, your tone settings, you have to change a lot of other stuff because the tones, when you change the tones, a lot of other stuff you have to change, and your ground balance you have to change too. But with the Simplex, it takes the guesswork out of metal detecting, man. I have a lot of hours on the Simplex, and I have quite a few hundred hours on the Deus now, and the Deus just a lot of pushing buttons, and I'll go over these same targets with the Simplex. Sure, I had to make a lot of adjustments, and that was hitting that stuff pretty good there in full tones. And I'll just put the Deus down, and I'll show you how evident these targets are with the Simplex, man. And just It just happens all the time, man. I can sit there and adjust my machines, my high-end machines, and just try to hit these targets and try to see which mode and which frequency, which coil is going to hit it. And I'll just show you. And not all those modes in the default and the stock modes are going to hit all this stuff. You saw that I have to push a lot of buttons to get it to perform a little bit better, right? And just park 2, I'm knocking ground bounce, full gain. Nickel at 5 inches deep. The faster I swing, the better tone I get. You see, just watch my videos. I swing fast, and those coins just start popping out. Here's that dime, or here's that quarter at 6 inches deep. It's still coming through, right? Still coming through that iron. I don't have to change my frequencies, don't have to change my coils, don't have to change my settings. Actually, I can't. I'll go like this. Just go over this iron. I'm in park 2, full gain. Iron volume at 2. I'll go with this foil here on the surface. Struggling on the foil on the surface. Simplex does struggle with the foil on the surface. You know, that could be a gold ring, so I'm gonna dig that foil up. I dig the foil up no matter what it is. You know, if I'm running the Equinox, the Deus, the Simplex, the Amphibio, I just dig the foil out because it could be a gold ring, right? Now I'll go with this iron here. High tone right off the bat. Look at that. It's still coming through there, right? That high tone is still coming through. So I'm gonna be digging that target up, right? It's spanking it out big time. It's a high tone, so you know the Simplex takes a little bit of learning what the iron sounds like, what the targets are popping out of that iron. But I'll just put it in park 1 here. Go with the same stuff here. Full gain. Actually, this is full gain right here. Look at that. Spanking it out. I'm not looking at the numbers because the numbers are all messed up, even on the Deus. You know, the numbers just mean nothing when you're in this amount of iron here. It's still coming through. Hear it? All my detectors hit it really good at this angle right here. All my detectors, it favors that angle right there. Now I'll come over with all this iron here, right? Foil on the surface, 1.5 inches deep. Here's that quarter, right? It's clear as day that there is a target down there, right? I'm rotating on it and I'm still getting that high tone. If that high tone goes away and all I get is iron grunts, or if I get no tones, I'm gonna dig that target up. Right? If it's a nail, you could rotate on it and you start getting a grunt on it, an iron tone, it's a nail. With the Simplex, if you start rotating on it and you still get a tone, you know, not an iron grunt, if you still get a tone, even if it's a lower tone, it's something that you want to dig out. Now I'll come over that nickel here. Park 1. Evident, 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 evident. 5 inches deep. That quarter was 6 inches deep. Now I'll go into field mode right here. Just tear it up, right? This is 0 bar iron, right? No iron. I'll introduce some iron in there, actually. I'll introduce 2 bars of iron. Evident, so evident, man. Here's that quarter, 6 inches deep. I'll swing over this foil here. It's going to give me a high tone because it's just like the pitch tones on the Deus. It's not really a discrimination program. It's more of a depth program, right? I can discriminate here and notch that foil out, but I'm not going to do that. Right here. Let's go all this junk here. Bunch of foil on the surface, iron, right? just like heads of nails or something, right? You're listening for that strong tone. That's a strong tone, that foil. Because it's right on the surface. It's hard to pinpoint foil in field mode on the Simplex. 278. Right, rotate on it. I'm still getting a high tone on it. That's a dig me up target all day long. Evident target, man. You know, the Simplex just takes the guesswork out of metal detecting, man. You're not having to change frequencies, modes, coils, all that mumbly jumbly stuff, right? If you're just getting metal detecting and you got yourself a Simplex, stick with the Simplex for a little while and start watching some videos of other machines, you know, like the higher end machines. And you'll realize, man, you're getting the same stuff, man. The Simplex gets the same stuff as those other machines. Sure, not heavy iron. This isn't really heavy iron right here. You know, I can show you how heavy the iron is here. If you watch my Warzone videos, you'll understand what kind of iron this is. A lot of square nails and just random iron pieces, foil on the surface. And there's some big, deep iron here too. But if you watch videos, not even my videos, just watch other Simplex videos. And there's a lot of them. There's millions of videos out there on the Simplex. You know, because so many guys have a Simplex. It just takes the guesswork out of metal detecting, man. I have hundreds of silvers with the Simplex. Many of them are on video. Over 100 of them are in videos of mine. And right off the get-go, man, I was getting silver, I was getting rings, I was getting deeper coins, and compared to the older machines, they're just a whole world apart. The Deus, you know, you just saw that. I had to push a few buttons to put it in my preferences, but there's no need to push buttons, man. While I'm pushing buttons on my Deus, trying to dial it in, getting the ground balance all situated, and my tones and my programs, and seeing which program is going to work, the guys with the Simplex are getting the goodies before I even get my Deus dialed in. You know, that's not like that on the Equinox. The Equinox, you can just pretty much turn it on and go. But the Deus, a lot of button pushing. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.